Hi folks, how you doing? And welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to have a different type of session. Over the past few weeks I have been coming across something quite strange, unique, but actually quite fun and interesting to observe. And I've been talking about this fluidity with timelines and time travelling and stepping back in time, stepping forward in time, and experiencing strange and weird situations and scenarios where one day you're walking down a street, it's modern day world, the next minute it's Victorian, etc, etc. Well, I'm seeing something else added onto that, and it's that we all know that our lifetimes are apparently happening at once. But for the human experience, it is turned into something much more simpler than we could comprehend at the time, because otherwise it would have just caused confusion and complications that Earth didn't need at the time. But as we are starting to heal and awaken and ascend as a species, the game is changing. And one of the things I'm seeing is that yes, all lifetimes are happening at the same time, but we're also rewriting history. I've got a few examples in my brain that I'm going to share with you to make it simpler. This has been coming up in client sessions where the sessions are very different, very unique, very fluid, and it's almost like it's quite difficult to grasp it, because you'll be shuffling on the present and this other stuff comes up and it's like, wait a minute, but it's all tied in. You've got to try and decipher it and put it together as a jigsaw. That you can be right where you are now, healing your stuff, being accountable, being present. You are also rewriting your past lives. Consequently, you are also rewriting and clearing your karma. Your personal stuff, your external stuff, friends, family, work colleagues, and the global karma as well. And when I saw this yesterday, I was like, yeah, but so we're rewriting history, so the healing that we're doing can actually stop events happening in the past. Sounds like Outlander does that. And actually, but it's all in the history books. You can go and pick any history book about any type of history in the world. The story of that is there, and I got, yes it is. But in hundreds of years' time, the history books that we have now are going to be very different to what's coming. And I was like, how the hell does that work? Because we live in a digital age now where everything's out there. It's not like, the times of Henry VIII where there wasn't this type of communication. So the powers that be at the time could write what they want. And I got shown that it's actually already happening now. And an example I was shown was the Richard III stuff. Richard III, for those that you don't know, was known as a tyrant, the killer of his two nephews, etc. There was lots of evidence for it. Then all of a sudden his body was found and things started to shift and change. And there was this big new frequency that came in, and all these groups of people that came in that were bringing in this new information. And there was also the same group of people that were still saying, nope, he's done this, and we've got proof for it in history. And there is a lot of proof to say that he was a tyrant. When you actually look at it, when you go in impartial, there is still proof that the questions needed to be raised. Consequently, from that, people are saying they're finding new evidence to say that something else happened. But it's done in a way that doesn't freak people out. It's done in a way of, oh, it's just appeared in a vault somewhere, as if by magic. Oh, it's just appeared somewhere else, as if by magic. And oh, a book's just appeared. A new book by Philip McGregory that rewrites history, rewrites the narrative. And it's placed before you, and it's understandable. It doesn't freak you out, it doesn't scare you, because people will get scared and freaked out if they start to tap into this, because it's like, oh my God, what's happening? So nothing's real then, is that what you're saying? No one's batted an eyelid. History has been changed and you've not batted an eyelid. Has history been changed? Or has something been healed and shifted that's enabled a frequency to go back into the past, to heal something, to change history, for it to be picked up in the present time and produced and cleared and healed on some level? So in future, are we going to be coming across future books that say, oh, some research has been found in a vault that actually says Queen Anne Boleyn was stood on the scaffold, and as if by magic 6 Knights of the King rode up and gave a letter and said, you will not be beheaded, madam. Madam, you can go and live in a nunnery in France. Maybe that's what happened. Or maybe you can go and do this instead, but you are saved. And we'll go, oh, isn't that interesting? New evidence has been found. But what if the characters that are at that stage now here to do the clearing have actually done something, shifted something, that's allowed that change, but it's done in a way that doesn't freak humans out? We know that humans can have experiences where they're taken by galactics. When I say taken, I don't mean dark, deep, serious stuff. I mean, there's situations. The Law's Canon talks about it. And people are frozen and situations are frozen to not cause fear, because many people are still not at a place where they can handle it. So it's the same thing happening with this history thing that I've tapped into over these past few weeks. And how brilliant is that? Because it shows that everything is healable, and it shows that actually nothing is set in stone. Does that make sense? It's also possible to be doing this in your present life stuff. This takes some processing. So say you've got someone that's gone through something really horrific in the past. They can do that much healing that is reversed. Have you ever looked back at a part of your life and gone, I don't even feel like the same person anymore? That person that was there now, I don't even know them. I don't even know them. It doesn't feel like it's happened. And I think as we get more, I mean, right now it's batshit crazy bonkers with the energies. Solar flares at the minute, it's nuts. So more and more light, more and more energy, more and more shifts, and you're blinking and we don't even realise it. We do realise it on some level, but these shifts and changes are happening in a way that do not cause fear. Now this stuff may already be out there, but you know, I will not talk about something unless I've experienced it myself. I will not read something in a book and come out and make a video about it, because that's not my stuff. That's stealing somebody else's work, unless I've experienced something myself. So it's interesting, because I remember when we were doing, it's not on here by the way, that content has now gone to CT's Royal Tarot, but when we were channeling Anne, and there was another video we did about Anne Boleyn, and we came up to her death, and literally the timelines were, and I remember saying, I am so confused, because she was beheaded, but she wasn't. And I remember it actually caused me to feel quite stressed in this video, because I was like, what the hell is going on? It's almost like it was like a slippery slate like that, and it was like we were missing something. What if that's already started to take place? And that's why it was like, well, it actually did, but you've healed it and you've unravelled it, and actually you've saved the day. You know, people have written novels like this where you can do it, where this stuff has been happening. Battles have been stopped, etc. Parts of history have been frozen. Thinking about the history in your own country as well, because these are just a couple that I'm picking up in the United Kingdom. Is it already happening for your country as well, where new evidence is coming up? And as this goes on and on and on, it's going to cause more confusion because people are you're going to get the bandwagon, the circle, there's going to be a group of people that are going to say, I told you it was all fake and all illusion. They're going to miss it. And it's going to get poisoned and it's going to get manipulated. They're not going to have been able, and this is the thing with a lot of this stuff, if it's not dealt with properly, it gets taken out of context and it gets manipulated and it causes more confusion. Interesting. Let's pull some cards. I'm using the Quantum Oracle by Sandra and Taylor and then the Enchanted Map by Colette and Reid. Can we have just one card? About this subject that we're, the past life thing that we're seeing, past life thing that we're seeing. Dark thoughts. Optimism. That's interesting. Let me just take a clarifier for the dark thoughts. It's also happening with realities. This morning, I'll show these cards in a minute. This morning was looking through some comments on the CTs were all telling, I was like, oh, for God's sake, God's sake, God's sake, God's sake, God's sake, God's sake. And I literally looked up and I looked outside and it was New Earth. I have never seen the sky look so blue. I have never seen my garden look so green. To a point I was like, I've never seen the sun look so golden. And I was like, oh my God, that's what we're all talking about. And it's there in the garden. And I just put the phone down and was like, shit to it. I'm not interested. Whatever kickoff can happen now, I'm come back and I want to deal with that. Because that's what happens on there. And I just sat and I just looked and I was like, that's New Earth. So this isn't just happening with past lives, this is also happening with realities. Realities. We get to choose which reality. We are now choosing which reality we want to go into. And it's becoming more and more clearer with our thoughts, with our actions, with our deeds. You get to choose this, where you just go down the rabbit holes and you just lose yourself in the dark maze, or you get to choose this. But the thing is, both of these realities can be existing in the same room. Two people sat on the same sofa. One can be here and one can be here. And both are as real as each other. That's not fake. That's not fake. They're real. The realities. And you can get to choose at any point which reality you go down. Also as well, we've got the card of great gratitude, the New Earth energy. If you want to, if this is like, oh my God, this makes sense, grasp it and take it in, because you're able to rewrite your karmic debt. You're able to rewrite your history. And the more that you sit with this video, maybe take notes on it, maybe look at your own life, maybe come back to it, the more you'll be able to run with it, and the more you'll be able to see it playing out in your life. Because I think this is a really interesting energetic tool that we've got. And what I'm hearing is the muggles won't see it. The muggles aren't really seeing the book with the new information about Richard III in it. The muggles, it's almost like the muggles, some of the muggles are still the muggles, by the way. It's what J.K. Rowling called the non-believers in Harry Potter. The muggles are still not going to see it for some time. Because what I'm getting is, actually, if this came on grid and everyone saw it at the same time, it'd cause pandemonium, it'd be too much. The awakening and the ascension process, you cannot have the whole of the world going through it at the same time. It would actually cause chaos. And there is universal laws, energetic laws with the world, that we can't have that. And there has to be a stability with Earth, otherwise it would just flip. And also, when you listen to this information, or when you read something like Dolores' book or another spiritual book, there is an effect on your energy field. There is an upgrade, a shift. So if you piled your system full of too much, it would just blow. There is this energy of consciousness of lack out there and people not really realising what they can shift. Poor me, the pity party energy, caught up that it's almost like it's already happening for them, but they're not wanting to see it. You're going to see more and more people stepping into poor me because it's going to be easier in their head than actually facing the truth, facing the universal truth. Let's pull a card from this deck. The spark. The spark has been lit. Follow the leader. The spark has been lit, and follow the leader. Let's pull some cards. Let me just sit with these for a minute. Oh, look at that. I knew I actually had to stare at her. Do you know, I need to stop updating my makeup before I come online. It's getting silly now. Can you see the clock there? The clock. Being able to turn back the clock. There's something happening with time. It has been. I've been conscious of it since about 2018 with the clock and the time being changed energetically. Time slowing up, time going quicker. Being able to control the time. Again, we're going to have the other thing. We do this at 10 and we do this at 11 and we do this at 12 and we do this at 2. That's already getting, we eat our lunch at this time, we eat our tea at this time, and we have our supper at this time, we eat breakfast at this time, and we do this. That's going to start getting smashed up as well. Because the clock that we're on, God, this was meant to just be about past lives, but we're going into other stuff. The clock that we're on isn't going to be no use going forward. It's not going to be any use to man the beast. There's an event coming in future where there is this could actually, this again in future, but it's already happened in London with Big Ben, where something comes in and the clocks freeze. It's already happened in Big Ben. Maybe it's not going to be a global thing. Maybe it is. Don't look into it too deeply. Where the clocks freeze, and in that freeze, we're frozen and things are happening. I can't explain it. Let's have a look at the impact this is going to start having. Is that the right question? Is what I'm seeing actually happening? I don't know. Feels like it is. Let's just see what the cards say. Is what I'm seeing actually happening? We've got the card of family, the generations, and present power. Yeah. Straddling two worlds. The generations, the different generations. Let's ask this deck. Commitment. You know, the past self, the present self, the magic prayer. Being able to glide through these different dimensions. Doing it via sleep state. Oh, I was just gazing at my deck like I do, and I've got making a choice. Making a choice. All of these doors are open. It's if you're willing to do it. So if this really is like, ooh, I like this, do it. How would you do it, Claire? How would you do it? Heal in the present. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Heal in the present. Watch your interactions with people, all of it. Be present, be accountable. Ask your guides to guide you on this. Be open to believe, because if you believe, you can, you will. It's almost like these two doorways have opened. We've been on this path and we've been lost for some time, and Spirit have gone, right, let's make it easier. You can go back through that doorway and you can unravel it. You can redo it. Then you can come back and vice versa. How will this affect the history books? Because I know when this was Richard III, I mean, I only know because I followed that. I think it'll be happening with a lot of other things. I remember at the time thinking, whoa. And even when I watched Philippa's documentary, I was like, whoa. How will this affect the history books for the future? The future. Balancing act, wow. It's going to be a balancing act. I'm hearing they are going to have to tread carefully. They, as beings of light, the energetic beings, our energetic selves, are going to have to tread and do it very, very, very gently, because they're walking a tightrope with it. If Spirit let too much information go at once, there will be pandemonium. There will be a kickback from it. Because a lot of humans like being humans. They like being in the muggle energy. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. You actually take that away from someone and it flips them. Honestly. Because people get comfortable. And there's a lot of people in the comfortable zone. No judgment. And if you start talking like this to them, it'll flip them. Don't forget, many people are in an imbalance at the minute because of alcohol, drugs, abuse, trauma, lack of diet, lack of nutrition, stress, lack of sleep, lack of money. So you have to be in a fairly optimum state to be able to get this. So it is a balancing act. Can you see the ship on there? And it's coming to life bit by bit. It's coming to life bit by bit. Gentle gardener. Gently. It's almost like Spirit are going gently with this. Show me what the future. Show me how this is going to. Same question. How it's going to affect the future of the history books. Planning and action. It's going to change. You're going to start seeing more and more of it. Joyous fun. I hope we're alive and around to see it, because this is going to be really interesting. It's interesting. Not the last time I went to Tower of London. The previous time. The last time I went. I'll come to that in a minute. But I remember going to the Tower of London feeling really overwhelmed with all kinds of things going on in the Tower of London. And especially around where Anne was executed. In fact, I nearly passed out at one point. No bullshit. I nearly passed out. I nearly went down. Boom. It was in the church again. Even that. Do you know now the question whether she's actually buried in that church? I can never say the word. St. Valinsky. I can't say it. I'm not going to try. There's even questions now who those bodies are. So it's already happening. Anyway, we went in there and they started to go through the details, and literally, if I'd not have been sat down, bang. When I went last time, and you may be able to say, well, actually, your job's different now, Claire. So I do protect myself more in these places. But I remember going in thinking, it didn't happen. It was weird. It was a weird experience. It was like, usually going to the Tower of London, it's like, because it was a place of such trauma and torture. And actually, I found myself going, it's almost like nothing happened, really. Just a castle. Probably is now just a castle. Because if we're going back and rewriting it, then there was no executions, there were no tortures. There's a lot of history books out there that just need to catch up. There's a lot of energetic blueprints that need to catch up. There's a lot of people with past life trauma that need to catch up. But on some level, it's been cleared. So it is just a castle. It's very, very, I think it's interesting. Magic prayer, the sad embrace. It's almost like I want to switch people onto this, because if they can switch onto this, it can really help them. It can free them. It can liberate them from this. But people have got to do it in their own time, because they're stuck in the mud. The Golden Palace, they can't see the Golden Palace. I had a download, I don't know if I've shared this on here. I've got that many platforms now, I don't know what I've shared where. I can't remember, I don't think I have. Might be on TikTok or Instagram. Do follow me on TikTok and Instagram, because I'm doing video content that I'm not doing on here. All my social is down below in the description pinned comment. I got a download on the weekend, and it was that it's so important. This was from a soul that's gone over, and it was that this is so important whilst we're here in this earth plane to heal as much of our bitterness as we can. Bitterness towards life, ourselves, other people, because there are places in heaven, the other dimensions, that are so beautiful, and there's teachings over there that are so beautiful that if you've still got this bitterness in you, you can't see them. You in some cases you're not allowed to see them, because these spaces and places are so pure that if we go in with this luck that us humans carry, we'll poison it. So this spirit was saying basically, Claire, anything you can heal, no matter what it is, let that bitterness go, on the big scale and the little scale, because you don't fully realise it until you transition. So it's so important going forward to get yourself as energetically clean as you can, to step into non-bitterness, to step into non-victim mentality, to step out of pity party energy, to labelling yourself, because this is going to get more and more fun and more interesting as it develops. And there's going to be more, you see, as I'm looking at that, as there's going to be more and more people, can you see that? Take my face out, like the grid. There's going to be more and more people coming on grid, and they're going to want to talk about these things, and it's important that when they come to you, you are grounded. I have been that person that's gone to someone that's not grounded, and they're just off their rocker, and what comes out of the mouth does not make sense. In fact, sometimes it can actually scare you. To be able to use this energy in order to help you, to grow. Anything else that wants to come through from this message, because I've really enjoyed giving it. It's all, I think I already said, it's also happening with stuff now. And that's going to be a big war zone energy with people, because when people think they're that and they're that, but tomorrow there could be something totally different. It could be a total change round. So in the present global stuff, what I would say is I would stay impartial, and I would just observe and not take sides, not get involved in this is the warrior that's come to save us, or this is the tyrant that's going to bring us down. To stay neutral as far as you can. Not that you're just, keeping it safe, but it's going to get more and more confusing as the past life stuff gets more confusing and present world, because it's having everything's affecting everything, if that makes sense. And look out for those history books. Look out for what they're saying on history channels. Look out for these new pieces of evidence that are going to start coming in. Also as well, there's going to be more stuff coming up about Stonehenge, the pyramids. There's going to be more stuff coming up about ley lines. And this stuff is going to be implanted in the right type of people that can deliver it. And it's going to be implanted to people that actually have platforms or can write these books or can put these documentaries together or put these things on YouTube to get it out there so it gets out to the masses, if that makes sense. Also as well, another thing that I'm picking up is you'll go somewhere on Tuesday and it'll look a certain way. You'll go back on Monday and it looks totally different. Have you had that yet? Freaks you out. Or you go somewhere Monday and it feels really heavy. You go back on Tuesday and it's like, wow, this is a gorgeous place. Because again, the land's shifting, the land clearing, the different stories coming out. You may go to an ancestral home, for example, and you may go to it on, I don't know, Tuesday, 1st of May, 2023. But when you get there, it may feel really oppressive because it's actually stuck in a time zone that day, to a time zone when it was quite horrific or something was happening with the family that day. And you're like, what the hell is this? It's going to be interesting. Nothing to be scared of, nothing to run from, just something to be aware of with your journey going forward. Even that as well, look at the scroll she's got. Tearing up the contract. It's almost like a reset. You want to talk about the Great Reset? Well, I think there is a Great Reset, but I'm more focused on the energetic Great Reset, to be honest. Interesting times. Thank you for watching. Love to all. Share this video. If you get to the end, whew, what shall we put for the end? For the emoji, and you want to come and not sure what to put, leave me a whirlwind or a tornado emoji. And with the intention of sending this information out, please do like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. See you later. Bye.